We started in September of 2014 because I just felt like there was not enough being done for the homeless population in Washington County, which is down in St. George, Utah. And it was a concept that was basically derived from feeling like there was not enough wraparound services to help the homeless population get back on their feet. So SwitchPoint's model was built upon the concept of meeting an individual where they're at and trying to find ways to help them become independent and self-reliant. It was interesting because in 2020, during COVID, we were asked to come up to help run the overflow shelter in Salt Lake County.
To be honest, it was very rough. We did the best we could with what limited resources we had, but we did a good enough job that the city and the county and a lot of the state noticed what we were doing, because we were starting to change the landscape of homelessness here in Salt Lake. We've had many clients who said, like, you made me feel like a person again, which sounds simple and silly, and sometimes, especially like if you're not used to it, but when you're on the streets or you live in a way outside of society, little things that connect you to another human are deeply important and deeply personal. And when you don't have that for years at a time, when you start getting it again, it makes you blossom again as a human.
We met so many wonderful people that came to this overflow, and we thought, you know, this is an incredible opportunity that we could actually turn this into a permanent type of living.
The point is going to be SwitchPoint's low-income housing for Salt Lake. What we're doing is we're going to fulfill a need in the community of a group of people that usually fall through the cracks because they'll make money but not enough to survive. So what we do is we're trying to fill that gap of hitting these 55 and older, usually people with disabilities who are stuck in the streets because they can't afford anything.
We learned a lot from here and kind of how to adapt to the population here and what they were expecting and what they needed. And we found out that everybody needed a permanent place to live. And that's what we're creating for them.
So this is one of our rooms. This is a standard. It's like a studio. We've completely renovated, adding new tile, new carpet. We've added like a kitchen spot where they'll be able to have a refrigerator, hot plate so they can cook, things like that. Everything is brand new, so that way they have not just a room, like it's not just a hotel room. What we're trying to do is give them a sense of community, give them a sense of home that is positive, and try to get them to get rid of the negative behaviors that they had out on the street and provide essentially a sacred space for them that they can call their own and just be safe. Because of a lot of our clients have been chronically homeless, so over 5+ years of homelessness.
We've had so many volunteers that have helped, and a lot of private donations have come in from our community here in Salt Lake. It's been a good experience. We have right now about 100 people that are on our waiting list, and we can take with couples up to 140 individuals. A lot of these rooms are what I would consider suites, and so it was perfect for these couples that have not been able to fit into our homeless system, where most shelters do not allow for couples. And so they're so excited to come in and be able to stay together and be able to afford it and stay together. So this is going to be super exciting. We'll do a continental breakfast every morning for all of the residents, and then we'll do fun family style dinners. So Monday meatloaf, for Tuesday taco, Wednesday spaghetti. So that's kind of how we'll serve our meals here. So we'll have a little baking business in our kitchen that's here, and some of them can be our shuttle drivers, some of them can be our housekeeping, some of them can help us in our little convenience store downstairs. So those kinds of opportunities will help keep them connected. We'll really try and create a culture here and create a community. I like to think of it kind of as a vertical tiny home, if you will, right? Vertical tiny home village, just so that they feel like they belong, right? We want to have them feel connected to us. We're their family, and that there's no need to continue to build more shelters. There's more need to build deeply affordable housing. Yeah. And that's what we need to do in this community. So yeah, so I'm excited about this. So by reducing the size of the restaurant and saying, nope, we'll bring in the case management and partner up with people that are good at it. So when?
The whole point of Switch Point and the point is to bring community here, and so bringing events, bringing different types of groups in, bringing social activities and that kind of stuff to create that community connection. So we're really excited about getting it started, what it's kind of going to bringing people together, having people who haven't experienced familyness and togetherness in years and years. We get to bring that here. That's the point, which is the point of the point.
Great. So what you have here is First Up House, Central City Residential Substance Abuse Treatment. This is 72 beds of residential treatment for men. Many of them are individuals who've experienced homelessness. About 60% are individuals who meet criteria for a co-occurring mental health condition. Most of those individuals will transition out of our residential setting into housing in the community or recovery housing in the community, but they would also be concurrently enrolled in our outpatient program, which is the second floor of this building. So this is the outpatient clinic. Down this hall, we have clinical office space for our mental health therapist. These offices also double as group rooms. We have a large community room over here. First Step House really believes strongly that substance use disorder and mental health conditions are chronic conditions. They're not something you get over and done with. They're something that respond well to treatment and can be managed, and individuals live full and productive lives. And so developing wraparound services has been really critical to the model that we've developed in the continuum of services that help people stay stable in the community. When I first joined First Step House back in the early 2000s, we had one residential facility and a few transitional housing facilities over in the Fair Park neighborhood. Since then, we've grown into 3 residential programs in Salt Lake County, 2 permanent supportive housing facilities in Salt Lake County, a very robust case management system to help people stay stable in the community. So this is one of the units. This happens to be a handicap unit. We're doing home visits often daily with individuals, and we wanted to be able to set it up so that one of our case managers or one of our front desk people could come to the unit and see what was going on, see if the individual had groceries. So that's why you don't see doors on the cabinets. It would be, and therefore it's minimally intrusive. It can just be done at a glance. One of the first steps to exiting homelessness is to engage with the Road Home or Volunteers of America through one of the homeless resource centers. First Step House then partners with those community providers to help individuals who meet criteria for the programs and services that we offer to transition into residential substance abuse treatment or into one of our housing programs. When an individual is enrolled in treatment services, we will then work on helping them locate and retain housing that is affordable in the community. The idea is to keep people engaged in services, but at the lowest level of intensity possible. This type of housing makes sense. It costs less than that constant cycle of emergency services, incarceration, back to the street, back to homelessness, and again and again and again. This approach, getting people housed, helping people get stable, and addressing the symptoms of their condition is smart business.
So I've experienced homelessness, and a lot of people focus on where did it all go wrong, but a better question might be, where can it all go right?
That I've seen miraculous change when a person can get stabilized, get his mental health stabilized, get his addiction stabilized, and he can then form, and she can then form a recognition around, a lifestyle that is not involving drugs and alcohol, and chaos. I've been involved as just a little footnote in my community that I associate with to ask for socks to be donated. It was made clear to me years ago that probably you could make a case for socks being the most important clothing element that a person can benefit from. And you can imagine how positive it is to put on a clean pair of dry socks. It can make all the difference in the world. So
now that I have services, can you see the smile on my face? Better way of living. I live better, I sleep better, I feel good, you know what I'm saying? I'm up doing things now that I didn't want to do.
If you see someone on the street, smile at them, say hello. You know, you don't have to go and like invite them to your home, but if you're out on the street and it's a bright sunny day, they're not gonna hurt you. Just say hi, give them a smile, acknowledge them, acknowledge another human. And just try to meet people where they're at. I think that's the best thing that anyone can do. Yeah.
Even at your lowest times in life, when you think there's nothing else better for you and you're on your way out, know that there's someone always out there reaching out to you.
And I see a lot of good things coming. It's a piece of cake from now on. But it's once you get out, thrown off the horse, I'm from Montana originally, you got to get back on.
Well, for the first time in what seems like a long time, I see a lot of good things happen. The only limit on that is my own imagination, and that's a good feeling to have again.